Most routines fail within 21 days, with the majorities failing around day 10 to day 14. Not for one, but for multiple reasons combined together. You miss one day, then another. Then the routine starts to feel heavy instead of helpful, then annoying instead of exciting. And eventually restarting later feels like the smartest move. But the real issue isn't motivation. It's how routines are built in the first place. The hidden reason you can't stick to routines isn't that you don't have discipline. It's that most routines are designed to collapse under normal life conditions. They assume perfect energy, perfect timing, and even perfect focus. And when real life starts to show up, the routine doesn't bend, but it breaks instead. Today I want to break down why that happens, why it's so common, and how to actually build a routine that can last you not just months or years, but decades, like we often see with top high-level competitors like business owners or even athletes. One of the biggest reasons routines fail is that people try to build perfect schedules. They sit down and design what their ideal life looks like on paper. Something like wake up early, meditate, journal their day, work out, eat clean, do deep work, no distractions. Everything is optimized, everything is intentional, and on paper it looks incredible. But perfect schedules don't account for bad sleep, bad moods, unexpected stress, or being human. The moment you miss one part of a perfect routine, the whole thing feels ruined. And once it feels ruined, quitting feels justified. Instead of asking what's the perfect routine, the better question is often what's the smallest version of this that you could still do on a bad day. Not your best day, but your worst normal day. That's the routine that survives. Let me give you an example that might sound a bit extreme, but that can give you a good idea. Let's say you don't currently work out at all, meaning you don't walk outside or on a treadmill and you don't do any form of resistance training. Technically, walking even 10 minutes per day would be an improvement for you in this scenario. Now, let's say you lost your job, broke up with your partner, or even lost a loved one. Could you keep walking even for 10 minutes per day in these scenarios? The answer is probably yes. That's an example of keeping the base low, that even on your worst day, you can execute it. Another hidden reason routines fail is that the payoffs are too far away. Think about most common routines people try to build. Going to the gym, saving money, starting a business, learning a skill. The real payoff often comes months later, sometimes years later. But the effort is required today. Your brain absolutely hates that deal. There's no immediate feedback, no instant reward, just discomfort and patience. So after a couple of weeks, your brain starts asking a dangerous question. Why are we doing this again? If a routine only pays off in the future, it won't survive the present. That's why routines need short-term wins built into them. Something that makes today feel successful, even if the big result is far away. Progress needs to be felt, not just imagined. A third common mistake is trying to change everything at once. People decide to reinvent their entire life on a random Sunday night. Starting tomorrow, they'll wake up early, eat perfectly, work out daily, journal, read, quit sugar, quit social media, and be productive all day. That's not a routine, that's overload. Each habit pulls from the same limited pool of energy and attention. Stack too many changes at once, and they compete with each other. Eventually, something gives. Usually everything. Real change doesn't come from intensity, it comes from sequence. One habit stabilizes, then another gets added. Not all at once, one layer at a time. For example, you try to go to the gym at least 3 times a week for 90 days. If you manage to do it, you can add trying to cut fast sugars for another 90 days. So on until you build your dream routine. Slow feels boring, but boring is exactly what sticks. This is where small wins become the foundation of everything. A small win is something that takes little effort, has low resistance, feels easy to repeat, and creates a sense of completion. For example, instead of thinking that you have to go to the gym for 2 hours, the win might simply be to go to the gym. Instead of a win being to write for 45 minutes, the win might be simply write something. Instead of eating perfectly starting tomorrow, the win might be to add one healthy food. These wins seem almost too small to matter, but that's exactly why they work. Small wins don't rely on motivation, they rely on momentum. And once momentum starts, doing more feels natural. But even if it doesn't, you still won. And winning even in small ways keeps routines sustainable. Another powerful way to make routines stick is by attaching habits to things you already do. A lot of people build habits in isolation, but you might want to consider anchoring them instead. For example, after you brush your teeth, you can add that 30-second stretching. You might want to do your to-do list in the same moment you take your morning coffee. You can pray while you're taking your shower. You can change into workout clothes right when you come home from work. The point is that the brain loves familiarity. When a habit is tied to an existing action, it feels automatic instead of forced. You're not asking yourself if you should do it. You're just flowing from one thing to the next. The less decision-making involved, the stronger the routine becomes. Now, most routines don't fail in the middle, they fail at the start. Not because the habit itself is hard, but because starting feels annoying. Remember the key point said at the beginning. Most routines fail within 21 days, meaning if you can keep up for more than 3 weeks, you usually tend to keep it for much longer. Resistance hides in tiny moments that don't look like obstacles at first. Looking for gym clothes, deciding what workout to do, opening a blank document, cleaning your space before you can begin. Each small friction point gives your brain a reason to delay, and delay quietly turns into skipping. Reducing resistance means doing the work before the work. For example, you can pack your gym bag the night before or put your notebook on your table before going to sleep. When the habit is easier to start than to avoid, consistency becomes the default. You're not forcing yourself anymore, you're just removing excuses. I'm going extreme, but stay with me for a second. Do you think it would be hard to work out if you lived inside a gym? No TV or laptop, just machines, your phone, and a protein bar. You would get in shape in no time without having more motivation. Actually, you would probably develop total boredom, but your workout routine would be elite. It's not about willpower most of the time, but your environment. It is the same as when people say they can't work from home and need to go to the office to be productive, maybe because they have children at home or other distractions. And it's similar to people who need to go to the gym to be productive in their workout, even if they have gym equipment at home, because at home there's a TV or whatever other distractions. A lot of people blame motivation when routines fail, but motivation isn't reliable. It spikes and disappears. It comes and goes based on mood, sleep, stress, and energy. Routines that depend on motivation will always break. What actually keeps routines alive is how little they demand from you. Low energy days, busy days, bad mood days. If your routine can survive those, it will survive almost anything. The goal isn't to feel motivated. The goal is to make the habit feel inevitable. So here's the real takeaway. If you want routines that stick, stop aiming for impressive. Start aiming for easy. Start with habits that are small, low barrier, and low resistance. Build wins you can collect even on bad days. Stack them slowly. Attach them to things you already do. Remove friction wherever you can. And most importantly, let the routine feel boring. Because boring is sustainable, and sustainable always beats intense. The best athletes, the most successful businessmen, and most of the people at high level of competition often do the same boring habits every day that they developed over time. So there's no reason for you to not be able to as well. If this video helped you see routines differently, give it a like, and if you want more similar content, click on one of the videos on your screen right now.